Hello! In this video I want to look at my top 10 and bottom 10 carry-on films. If you've been watching the channel, you know I've been doing some edits of various carry-on films. And that got me thinking, if I had the choice, what would be my top 10 and my bottom 10 carry-on films? This is what this video is about. So what I've done is used a ranking engine to see what carry-on films I'd rather watch, comparing one against the other. And this has resulted in finding a top 10 and a bottom 10. And remember, this is just a personal view. If you disagree, put something in the comments down below. At number 10, it's Carry On, Don't Lose Your Head. A strange choice maybe, it doesn't appear in many other top 10s, but I really like this film. It's fun, it's silly, and it's got a great swashbuckling sequence in the end. And I think that's why I like it. It's really farcical with lots of running about, and characters do seem to be enjoying themselves. Yeah, this is a good one. Number 9. Again, maybe a strange choice, but it's Carry On at Your Convenience. The one in the toilet factory. This one is just fun. Yes, it didn't do so well at the box office. I think that's because it was taking the mick out of the workers and the unions, the very audience the Carry On films are trying to find. But it is funny, and the sequence at the seaside is really good. They all pile into the coach and head off for the day at the traditional British seaside. Yeah, I like this one. It's a laugh. A number 8 for me is Carry On Cabby.
Birds don't drive cabs. They can't, they haven't got...
This is one of the early Carry On films, and it's really gentle and funny and nice, and got some great performances from still quite a young cast. Yep, really like this one.
Well, I'd like, oh no, what was it? Oh yes, a cup of char and a wad.
For me, at number 7, it's Carry On Nurse. This is again an early Carry On film, but it's just really great. And it's got the famous daffodil sequence in.
Daffodil.
Great performances. Again, a lovely, early, gentle carry-on film. Worth a watch.
This ward is the slackest in the hospital and the untidiest.
At number 6, it's Carry On Spying.
Agent Bind. James? No, Charlie. Number 00. Oh, what? I have no idea. They looked at me and they said, oh.
Now this one sometimes gets overlooked. It never used to be on the telly much, but it is a really good carry-on film. It's a James Bond kind of spoof with the whole team running about as spies in various exotic locations. Well worth a watch if you haven't seen it already. At number 5, I've got Carry On Doctor.
Oh, no you don't. Oh, I saw that film.
This is my favourite of the hospital-based carry-ons. And I always remember watching this and really looking forward to the final sequence when the patients get their own back. I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's really worth a watch.
Get back to your beds at once. At once, do you hear? Or I shall call the orderlies. What is the meaning of this?
Having a bit of trouble, Ken?
Sister wants to call for help. Maybe you can persuade her not to.
It'll be a pleasure. Come on, girls.
At number 4, we're getting to perhaps the most well-known carry-on films. And this one is, of course, Carry On Camping.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. Come on.
A great romp, filmed famously in the winter with the ground painted green to look like grass. This one's great fun. We tend to think of Carry On Camping in that famous scene with Barbara Windsor when her bra flies off, but there's much more to this film. Charles Hawtrey is great, Terry Scott is great, Sid James and Bernie Bresslaw are at their best. This is a great film all round, but it is at number 4. So what's at number 3? Number 3 for me is Carry On Cowboy.
I wonder what they wanted.
It feels like a higher budget movie than it actually is. It's got great production, set in the Wild West. It's got the Carry On team playing at being cowboys. Essentially, they all look like they're having really good fun. They're all trying to do an American accent, some better than others. Kenneth Williams, I think, famously said he really enjoyed the film and he really liked doing the accent. Sid James seems to be having fun. As I said before, they're playing cowboys, they're loving it. And it's a good story. Great stuff. I did a remix of the Once Upon a Time in the West trailer to Carry On Cowboy. It's one of the most popular videos on this channel. Do grab it and have a look if you can.
Infamy! Infamy! They've all got it in for me!
At number 2, the sumptuous Carry On Cleo. Just a great film, and it's nothing to do with the seemingly larger budget. They borrowed sets, or rather they jumped into the sets left by the aborted Cleopatra filming. But it's just really good.
Oh, hello. Well, did you see anything? Oh, yes, and it was lovely.
Classic lines, great elements of slapstick, a good story, very funny, great performances. Definitely my second favourite.
I know.
There is something in those bushes.
My first favourite, and if you know me, you'll know why. It's Carry On Screaming. Absolutely love Carry On Screaming. Always looked forward to it when it was on the telly. Great production. I often wonder what it'd be like if Sid James took the role of Sidney Bung, but no matter. Fenella Fielding is awesome. Fabulous film. Really love Carry On Screaming. You can't beat it, in my humble opinion.
Please, please don't say it.
Say what, dear?
You know perfectly well what you always say at this time. It's an extremely bad taste.
What? Oh, you mean frying tonight?
Anyway, once I'd ranked all the Carry On films, there was a middle ground of about 10 films. They didn't fall into the top 10 and they didn't fall into the bottom 10. Here they are, now on the screen. Somewhere. And now I'm on to what I feel are the bottom 10 Carry On films. And starting at number 10 with Carry On Jack. There's something about this film that I don't like. I mean, it's not bad by any means. There's 9 others below this one. It just doesn't float my boat. You see what I did there? Floating the boat. It's a joke. This is still a very good film. It's just not on my watch list, if you like. At number 9, in my bottom 10, it's Carry On Up the Jungle. I'm no prude, but I find this a little bit smutty. It just doesn't do it for me. It's on the edge of kind of slightly sloppy writing, kind of not such a good story. The payoff at the end feels cheap. Not my favourite films. Still a good one, but it's down there in the bottom 10.
God, it's the one.
At number 8 in my bottom 10, it's Carry On Matron. This is the one set in the pregnancy clinic where Sid James and his criminal gang are trying to steal contraceptive pills. It's alright, there's some nice set pieces. It just doesn't have the substance of the other Carry On films, I feel. At number 7, it's Carry On Loving. Now I find it interesting, when the ranking engine sorted these, it put Carry On Loving so far down, but I guess in comparison with the other films, I would rather watch those than Carry On Loving. But I like this, and don't get me wrong, there's some really good bits in Carry On Loving. It's just the main cast aren't in it much. That traditional Carry On team aren't there. It's on the edge of the Confessions of films for me. There could be more story. Sid James is good in it. Charles Hawtrey is good in it. It's just not enough Carry On for me in Carry On Loving. At number 6 in my bottom 10, it's Carry On Dick. Kind of a historical romp for me that doesn't really get there. It's quite repetitious. The bit when Sid James is running backwards and forwards into the church, looking at the collection box, seems tagged on. It feels like they're running out of ideas. For the fifth in the bottom 10, I'm going back a bit, just a couple of years, to Carry On Henry. An historical romp that doesn't quite do it for me. Again, it's quite repetitious, the story is quite thin. It's okay, just not my favourite. At number 4 in my bottom list, it's Carry On Behind, the archaeology one. There's not much of the team left now. The writing's not brilliant, it's a little bit smutty again, a little bit too smutty, tips over the edge for me. Didn't enjoy it. A weak Carry On. It's definitely the beginning of the end for Carry On in my opinion. At number 3 in my bottom Carry On films is Carry On England. This looks really cheap. Very few of the Carry On team are in it. Windsor Davis and Melvin Hayes are being Windsor Davis and Melvin Hayes. Not a strong film at all. I wouldn't choose to watch this if I had a choice of other Carry On films. And number 2 from the bottom, it's Carry On Emmannuelle. Bit of a messy cash grab this. Doesn't even feel like a Carry On to me. Just feels like a series of set pieces. Not enjoyable. Not for me. And finally, right at the bottom, it's the reboot. It's Carry On Columbus. All I need to say about this is, it's unwatchable. Simple as that. So, that's my top 10 and bottom 10. The top 10 films are great, the bottom ones show how Carry On gradually disintegrated. And please bear in mind, this is only my opinion. What do you think? Is my top 10 way out? Is my bottom 10 way out? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.